Hey, what's up guys? My name is Dan Coconati and today we're going to be taking a look at the song called 1985 by Bowling for Soup. Now this song is in standard tuning, so that means your strings are going to be E, A, D, G, B, and E. So get yourself a tune and then we're going to get started on this lesson. All right, let's take a look at 1985 by Bowling for Soup. So this is a good one. So we got kind of this power chord with an octave idea shape that we're doing for our the main riff, if you want to call it that, but our intro riff here. So we got a second fret, right? And that's going to be on your A string, and then combine that with your fourth fret of the G string, and then you're muting that in between. So you only want to hear your second fret and your fourth fret of that A and then the G. So, okay. And that's going to be your idea for this whole riff. So you're just muting that in between string and using these octave chords up and down the fretboard. So the first one, again, second fret of that A, fourth fret of the G, and then sliding it up. So now it's a fourth fret of the A and a sixth fret of the G, and you're just muting that in between, like I said. So first chord, second chord, and then do it again, up 2 frets or a whole step, and that's now a 6th fret and an 8th fret. Okay, so all together, you're just going up that fretboard. So 2, 4 to 6. And then you repeat it, right? And then, so you're just kind of, the idea is you're just using these 3 chords. So that the end is just going 2, 4, 2, 4, and then up to a 6, 4, and then finish back on that 2. So all together, this is that main riff. And then it's going to repeat. All right, so I want to kind of group this in with our introduction, but every time we kind of get into so after we play that main riff, we get into that transition into our verse, if you will. And we actually kind of do that going into our chorus as well. But what are we doing here? So right after we play that main riff, we do this. So this is just an F sharp power chord in a sense, right? Because this is our regular F. So now we're just sharp. And again, a power chord like I mentioned. So that's going to be your traditional root and fifth. And then if you want to get that octave in with that pinky for all 3 notes, you can do that as well. But for those that don't know what a power chord is, again, like I said, a root and a fifth, but this is the shape. It'd be a second fret, okay, on that low E, and then you got a 4th fret, right, and that's going to be on your A, and then you can add, if you've got the pinky strength, the 4th fret as well on that D. Now you don't have to add that. You can just do the root and the fifth, but like I said, if you want to get like the more robust sound, you can add in that pinky on that 4th fret of your D string to get in that octave in a sense. But again, so after you play the riff, you go into this, that F chord, and then, so that's just a harmonic. So you're going to play that twice, and that harmonic, right? So if you don't know what a harmonic is, it's just resting kind of the finger on top of the string and right above that fret. So this is in a sense, a 4th fret harmonic. And all you're doing is you're just gonna you're plucking it and catching it with the finger. And instead of playing it, you're catching it. And you should hear that and in a sense, what you're doing is you're just getting the string you're catching the vibrate. And it's making that different tone. So that little bit though is just the 2nd fret or the F sharp power chord with those harmonics on your 4th fret of your D and your A. So altogether, after you play the first riff, right, it's this. And then let's get into the verse. So then we got these chords. So keeping that power chord idea going along, we got a 2nd fret, right? And that's on our A string, and then a 4th of the D. And that's just our power chord. And again, you can add it in the pinky for the octave too, but regardless, first chord, right? And then we go to an E minor, or an E minor power chord. So that's an open, an E, 2nd of the A, and a 2nd of the D. Right? And then we come up. Now it's a 4th fret power chord on the E string. And then drop it down to that 2nd fret or the F sharp power chord. All right? So all together, that's our verse then. Right? And then we kind of just build it up, and we're going to be just doing like some palm muting. Okay, ends the exact same way as well. Like I said, it's that F sharp power chord, 2nd fret, all right, on the E string, and then you just use those harmonics. And that's on that 4th fret, once again, on the D, 4th fret of the A. Right, and then we're gonna get into our chorus. Okay, I did make a little error on that transition, but we're gonna ignore that. So let's take a look at the chorus of this song, which I did nail that correctly, if I may. But the chorus, we're gonna just take a look at. Very easy, just kind of that power chord mentality. And there's only one thing that's really changing here between the verse and the chorus, which we will get to in a sec. So starting off, our chorus, we got that 2nd fret power chord on our A string, right? So that's a 2nd on the A and a 4th of the D. And it's open strumming for the chorus, so. And then that goes right into an E minor, which we learned from the verse, so that's open, okay, on that E, and then a 2nd of the A and a 2nd of the D. That's your 2nd chord. So first chord, 2nd, and then very similar to the verse, right back up here, 4th fret now, power chord of the E string, so 4 and a 6, and that's where the change happens. So this is the only thing that's different between the chorus and the verse. So when we're on that 4th fret power chord here, we go up a fret, okay? So instead of going down like we did in the verse, we're just going up 1 fret to our 5th fret here. And, so 5th fret power chord, so 5 and a 7. And that's the only difference. So let's just play the chorus, and we'll do it slowly. But again, it's the same chords. The only difference is you go 4 to 5 instead of the verse being a 4 back to the 2. So let's just play the chorus really slowly. Well, actually, one more thing after that, because when we do transition back into our verse, we do this. So all that is you're just jamming out, you're strumming out that 5th fret, and you're just gonna mute those strings. So just, in a sense, I'm kind of just getting the harmonic on the 5th fret of my E string, but you're just gonna mute. And then it goes back into the main riff, I guess we'll call it right? So now let's actually play the chorus together. I'll throw some tabs up as well on the screen so you can follow along. So really slow, here's our chorus. All right. Okay, last little bit that we got to learn is our bridge or the solo of the song. So not too hard. It's really basic actually. So it's going to be an 8th fret, and that's on your G string. So, and you're just going down in a sense on the scale. So 8 to a 6. And then to a 9. And that 9 is on your D string, okay? So 8, 6 on the G, 9 on the D, and then you just go up the scale. So the only little thing that you gotta do is you do a little bend, and that's just bending that 8th fret of the G string, and then pull off to that 6, and then you end on that 9 of the D. So let's do the solo, and we'll do it slow with some tabs as well. So here we go. Thank you guys so much for checking out this guitar tutorial on 1985 by Bowling for Soup. If this helped you out and you're able to learn the song, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and be ready for more future guitar videos. Thanks.